So what do? California's strength is its diversity, but how do we find a way to organize ourselves regionally? So when we think about the problem, or how to deal with this, how to move forward, California is, again, 38 going on 50 million people, a state that's defined by incredibly strong, diverse, exciting, innovative regional economies. The diversity of communities around the state is just tremendous. There's no hope for one tiny little town that I grew up in and love, Sacramento, but still, to solve all of the problems of the entire state and to manage it and lead it effectively. We've got to move government closer to people around the state and empower people around the state to be able to make more decisions that are right for their regions based on the regional economy, their community needs, the local cultural priorities, all of these different things. That's something that we want to really give some serious thought to as we go forward. And we've got, in terms of positive reform and the direction that we want to be headed in, we've broken it into, for the purpose of this, well, not just for this discussion, but in the way that the California Board is thinking this, about this 4 broad areas. We're almost done here. And we're keeping this very, very general, in particular for today's discussion, because we're not trying to guide you in any way here. We just want to give you a sense of kind of how we're thinking about this very broadly. So area number 1, we've got to improve government performance. Government needs to be a lot more innovative and responsive. There are lots of examples of this locally and regionally. And that's one of the reasons, again, why we want to focus on local success stories. We know we're going to come up with some great best practices to draw from that we can learn from at the state level here. Move government closer to the people. We live in communities, and the work that we do in our communities feeds into regional economies. We need community governments to be able to collaborate more locally, coordinate locally, ensure excellence statewide. We need revenue to track program authority. We need much greater local accountability. We need stronger ways for the public to participate in local decision making where they can hold it accountable, see how it's affecting them personally. You know, when we think about how people evaluate change, it's not necessarily what's happening in Sacramento. Sacramento is a million miles away from most of the state. You got to get on a plane to get there. It's, you know, how's your family doing? And what's your street look like? How are your neighbors? I mean, how long does it take you to get to work? How expensive is it? Do you worry about the air quality for your kids? How big's your kids' school? How's the budget affecting your kids' teacher quality? It's these things. It's local. It's what's going on in your community, what you know. No matter what your role is, that's where you start. Number 3, we've got to invest in the future. To be globally competitive and grow middle-class jobs, state government must be responsive to community and regional needs, create the conditions for capital investment, and make smart public investments. 4th and final slide, we've got to promote a viable, inclusive, and responsive democracy. We've got to put people back in democracy. You know, California is, again, I keep coming back to population. It's bigger than ever before. It's just going to keep growing. We're going to have more and more people. It's one of the most diverse places on the planet. We also have opportunities with technology that we've never had before that also are in the trend line going like that, as you all know. There are huge, the internet is one of the most democratizing forces that we have. It's not going to solve all of our problems, and it's certainly not going to solve them if we just sort of sit back and wait for someone to knock on our door and say, here you go. But there are tremendous opportunities there to really take these different ingredients that can be, you know, our undoing or tremendous promise for the future to reach new heights that no one could ever imagine before. And we need to put all of these ingredients together to make it happen, though, and that's going to take a lot of work. That's what we're here for. So I think that's it. Woo. There we go. Thank you.
You had a chance to hear what Zabra has presented to us, some of the context of California's view of the challenges/opportunities facing California. So now we want to hear from you, and we're asking you to think about it kind of the flip side. What are your aspirations, your hopes for California's future and for the future of your region? I know since most of you are ALFers, you've probably done a lot of exercises like this, and please bear with us, but we really want to know, some of you have been thinking about this for a really long time, and we want to hear what people are thinking in this room at this moment to see if there are commonalities or differences. So what we're asking you to do is, at your table, take a moment to think about this, your hopes and aspirations for the region and for California. You have a worksheet in your packet that you can use. So we want you to reflect a little bit and then write one hope on the 3x5 card that is sitting in the pile of 3x5 cards in the middle of the table. Then we're going to ask you to share your aspirations with people at your table and find one to report out and one reporter to do that reporting out. We'll put that up on the screen. And we'll have about 10 minutes. I'll say it all.